What's up, my miners of intelligence and consciousness? I'm Rick Brooks, and this is Rick's Mind. Today with me, I've got esteemed guest and friend of the show, Andrew Allen. We're going to do things a little bit differently. We always have a great time talking off camera with Andrew, so we're going to kind of do like a hybrid fireside chat. We're going to bring the charm of DJ DeMarco in, and we're going to talk shit. We're going to laugh. We're going to have a glorious, glorious time. And the show has started. So what's up? What's up, Andrew?
Yo, what's going on, fellas?
Dude, long time no talk, and we've got a lot to talk about. There are a shit ton of things that have changed in the world since you were last on the show. We talk almost every day, but I want to know, man, what's on your mind, dude? What kind of rabbit holes are you going to lead the Rick's Mind team down today? That's what I'm curious about.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks for having me back. It's always a pleasure and joy to be on here. So I've been real excited, looking forward to myself. And yeah, like you said, there's been a lot going on, and just like even in my life and your life and just news and whatnot. What I was thinking back though when our first podcast was the 75 hard, and talked about it. And do you know what the very first thing that really got me spiraling to want to do the 75 hard was? Do you remember? When I got fucking fat shamed at that fucking amusement park.
Oh, that's right.
They kicked
I forgot about that.
They kicked you. They kicked
your
heavy ass
I was
off
all
the ride.
butthurt, and I was pissed off, and it was one of the big rides I wanted to go on, the Millennium Force, the 300-foot one. They fucking kicked me off and said there wasn't enough big straps for me, and I was like, that hurt me. I was like pissed, and that started this whole thing where we are today. Did you guys see what happened in Orlando yesterday?
No. What happened?
No.
Dude, I was in Orlando in July or June, and I saw this ride, and I saw this thing, and I was like, yeah, fuck that. Never in a million years would I go on that. A 14-year-old fat kid fell off the ride and died yesterday.
Oh my god!
Oh
my god! That's horrible.
He was one clicked. Probably, I don't know if he clicked. And that kid probably wishes he would have got fat shamed. I feel so bad for him because I would rather be fat shamed than fall off a roller coaster too. And
oh my god!
It's crazy. And there's a video of it too. It's pretty disturbing where he wasn't all the way up, but he was high up, and you see him fall, lay there.
CBS News, the video just started playing on my screen, and I swear to God, the news anchor just called the guy a gentle giant.
A gentle giant.
Dude,
Teen died.
Kid was supposedly 14 years old, and he was so big they couldn't click on the thing. And if you see this ride, it's like a free for all. Like it lifts you up, but not only does it lift you up, it lifts you up.
Oh, is it? It's the bouncing ones, right?
In the air. Then it spins you around, and then it drops you again.
Damn.
And I guess he fell in the drop down.
Dude, think about this though. Think about this.
The ride came down and he didn't.
Well, you're thinking, man, I'm so excited for this ride. The fun, the thrill of roller coasters and shit is you think you're gonna die. You're like, oh man, this is scary, and then you actually
actually die though.
Yeah, all of your fears are realized as you slip from the harness, and you're just like, I can't even imagine the amount of fear. Poor Rip, rest in peace. I'm sorry I laughed.
Yeah,
I just wasn't, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, and you see it too. You kind of see him on there, and it doesn't click very much. And at least I think the rule of thumb should be 3 clicks. Click, click, click. And maybe suck in and try to get 1 or 2 extra. So I don't know if it was a malfunction or if the people didn't check it well enough or what. Because that kid definitely should have gotten fat shamed and kicked off that ride because that is.
This is a blessing.
Terrible. But who knew? What a turn of events, though. What motivated you to get, to work on your health also saved your life potentially.
It definitely
saved your life. That's what I'm saying. Never again.
This is a positive thing when fat shaming could be good for people.
Yeah. Right. I think that's the thing. I think, do you know the 2 number fat shamer should be? Your doctor and amusement parks. It should be if you're fat, you're not riding the ride. Sorry,
dog. Come back in 6 months, all right? When you've lost about 30 pounds. So that reminds me. You want to know what one of my guilty pleasure shows used to be? It's My 600-Pound Life, bro. The doctor on that show is such an asshole. He'd be like, I'm not going to perform. I think it's like gastric bypass surgery or something like that on you until you've like dropped 70 pounds. Like, don't even fucking come back in here. Lose the weight and then I'll consider it. And I was like, damn, this guy's hard.
Well, that's like there's a certain weight limit you can do those surgeries. Like you have to not be so big that they can't like guarantee your heart's not going to give out on the operating table too.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true. I mean, actually, I have no idea.
Didn't she like go back and gain weight? Like he told her she had to lose weight.
Oh, that definitely happened.
The bitch came back fatter.
Yes, that happened. Yeah, I watched Hoarders Buried Alive. Also was a guilty pleasure back in the day when I used to watch way too much TV.
Where they would just find the dead cats. Like the house would just always reek, and there were just numerous dead cats.
Yeah. Well, dude, I have an idea for a reality TV show. And this is a multi-season amazing show. And if you're listening to this, you can steal this idea because I don't think I'm ever going to do it. So carte blanche here, but just credit me if you will. I think those guys. They're in every neighborhood. Maybe not in every neighborhood, but they like to collect junk. They're like hoarders. They're like project guys. They got a bunch of cars and shit. And they're always
like junkyard guys,
dude. You find like 10 of them, you go to Tennessee, Alabama, California, Nevada, whatever, all over the nation. And you say that we're going to give you guys like $500,000 if you have to stop buying shit other than the parts to fix your shit, and you're going to sell it. And it's like you have a year and you just roll the footage of these characters of them fixing up their cars and selling them. And you could do like a cost analysis and you could see who wins. And so they're making money, they're cleaning up their property. And then the person that makes the most money or like sells all their shit, finishes all their projects, wins the competition. I think that'd be a good show.
That'd be kind of cool.
I think you should just film poor people in general and just follow them and watch them. They're hilarious. Me being a poor person as well.
Honestly, as a fellow poor, you get yourself into like random shit so often. Honestly.
Yeah. I went to Costco today and I actually got robbed.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Like how? Like pork was too expensive or what?
Yeah, dude, the inflation here is insane.
Oh, Jesus. What? Okay, so that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I dropped $500 a day at Costco, which normally that kind of haul is usually about $300 to $370. Yeah, I just kind of stocked up in a lot of the proteins and stuff like that. But like normally a bag of chicken I can get would be $19.99. Now it's $34.99. Like prices are insane right now.
Dude, what? Like 2 weeks ago when we did the last time Rick and I did a fireside chat, we recorded one and you didn't even realize there was inflation.
Well, I thought it was like 6%.
No, it's up to 8 now.
No, it's not.
It was last month was 7.9.
No, that was like 7.2 or something like that.
No, 7.9.
Well,
February,
whatever it is,
February into March year over year was 7.9.
That was insane.
The Federal Reserve is going to raise the rates, and that they're going
to. I've basically had to start eating like vegetarian. I can barely afford to buy meat like at all.
And that's what I bought today because I'm trying to get a lot of protein in, and I have Krista, my wife, is a vegetarian, so she kind of has all the veggies. So I was, all right, well, I'll get the proteins and stuff, and it was insane.
Damn, so this is
seafood. Trying to get seafood in the Midwest, you might as well not even do it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like you couldn't even buy seafood in the Midwest like that was any good if it wasn't already frozen.
Fuck that. No. So wait, the inflation rate is 7.9% right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now,
like it was February year over year was 7.9.
Yeah, I thought it was at 6, but I guess it's close to 8%.
It's bad.
It's fucking crazy, man.
You know how I know? Like I first saw it because I went to go get my Klaus and pickles, and normally they're $3.99 a jar, and they were $5.49 for a jar.
Oh. God.
This is like, I kind of feel weird because like I haven't really felt the squeeze, if I'm going to be 100% honest with both you guys. Like I don't really have to drive for work. I work from home. So like I don't ever really need to fill up my tank. And I don't know, man. Like I've noticed a little bit, but it hasn't I'm not like devastated by it at the moment.
Gas is the one thing here, at least. It's roughly the same as it has been, minus like when it was like $1 something during the pandemic, like the early spring of the pandemic. But it's been about the same. It's like, I think last I saw like 455, 460, and it's been like that basically for like the last like 3 years.
I think I'm feeling it here because
fucking
Midwest,
high. Time out. No, John, you are way off base. It's been like threes, like mid threes. That's $4,
sure?
$5. Yeah, 1,000% sure. 1,000%.
Okay, maybe
sure.
I'm wrong. I don't pay attention. I don't. I buy the gas and then I just cry about it later. I don't bother looking at the price anymore.
100%.
No, but I think that's the thing, though. I was saying the Midwest, generally things have been so cheap out here. And now we're seeing these prices that are probably like normal prices in the Northwest, but out here in the Midwest, you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, like
gas is still about like $3.50, $3.70 here. It got up to the $4s for a little bit, which was insane here. Like they've never seen that. That was the first time it's ever been that high ever here.
Damn.
Oh, dog.
Yeah,
normally,
when I lived in Indiana
here in
for 2020,
so long, gas was like $1.99 or something like that. It was under $2.
When I lived in Indiana, I think the highest it ever got was like $2.70 maybe, and that was like right around some natural disaster, I think, when everybody was like panic buying or something. But it never really ever got much above $2. If it was going above $2, it was a big deal.
Yeah, that's gas. Thanks,
you know
Biden.
You know how usually I come on here, I feel like I've always had a segment on how I shit on Ohio, Toledo specifically.
Please.
Ohio has to be stopped.
It does.
Well, guess what? Today I'm going to have something nice to say about Ohio.
Oh,
I'm going to
really?
tell you this.
Wow,
Yeah. So about a month ago, I went down to the Football Hall of Fame with my dad in Canton, and dude, that was the coolest experience I've ever been to ever in Ohio.
Really?
It you felt like a mausoleum or something like that. You felt the weight of it. There was some stat, you might have to like look it up. They said like since the course of time, like there had been like 100 million people who've played football or some crazy number. And they're saying like from football, college, obviously NFL, it's been like 100 million people. There's less than 400 in the Hall of Fame.
Whoa.
Wow. So yeah, it was kind of perspective like how
over the age of 6 in 2018, 5.6 or 5.16 million people played football in the United States in 1 year.
Yeah, so if you go back from like 1800s or whatever, something crazy stat like
that's wild.
Or maybe when they started doing it, and but it was a cool experience, and I feel like it was a thing that like if you're a football fan or just maybe a history fan, because they had so much stuff, and it was going through the decades. So it talk about like how they allowed black people in the NFL, and then they didn't for a while. Then they let them in, and it was like a huge history lesson as well, just like not only football, which was really cool.
That's really cool.
Do we know why do you know what years they were allowed in, and then like why they're like, no, this is bullshit, you're out,
dude? There was so much information. Like it's been a month now, so like I've forgotten a lot of stuff. There was so much information to take in. You probably could have used 2 days, but I feel like it was maybe around World War I or the crash, like in the 1920s, and then I think there's like a 13 or 14 year gap. I don't know, they have all this information there, and I've obviously already forgotten it, but I learned a lot when I was there.
What an impactful experience.
Yeah, like
I think that's...
Oh, here it is. From 1934 to 1946, the owners agreed to completely ban black players from the league.
There you go, yeah.
Just because
they're racist, I guess.
Just like no. This.
I mean, who would have thought rich white people racist?
Just absolutely didn't have it. I do think that's pretty crazy. I love football. It's an addiction of mine, and I get away from it for years because I think it's organized violence. It's beautiful. I love it.
That's why it's so great.
Exactly. But it's a giant waste of time, in my opinion. Like I just sit on my couch. I'm just like, this is awesome, right? And you could be reading a book. Fair. I could be getting better. And for years I was away from it. And now, like the past last season, I went right back in. totally went right back in my old ways. I'm still listening to like sports radio now, and I hate to be that guy, but like the NFL's fucking wild right now. All the trades and shit that are happening. You know, you have Matty Ice to Indiana. You got Russell Wilson to the Broncos. Like, I'm just like, what? This is crazy,
dude. Did you see in Denver they had there was a fire in the stadium, and I was joking, said some disgruntled Seahawks fan tried burning down the stadium.
I actually do want to get your opinion on this. I think they should have got rid of Pete Carroll. I think you should have hired an offensive 100%. Coach, and you keep Russell Wilson, and then you rebuild the O-line. Like, I don't see why you would lose Russ.
Well, before we start getting my feelings, sir, I'm just going to preface real quick. The reason why Ricky took a break from watching football is because he's a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Fuck off.
They have not been relevant in 25, 30 years now. So I think it's real easy to step away from football. But once they start winning again, he's going to be a hyper fan. He'll be in there. So I didn't say that before I start kind of going in on my Seahawks.
Oh, well, listen, I'm gonna tell you this: we're relevant, kind of. Whether are we ever going to be able to get out of the first round?
I'm gonna just while you're saying this, I'm just gonna have Stephen A. pop in and start screaming about the Cowboys.
I fucking hate Stephen A.
But
yeah,
yes, the story is, man. Yeah, you're right though. Pete Carroll's like the oldest coach in the league right now, and. You know, he came in and kind of had his defense and kind of did the things he wanted to. But, you know, this league is ever evolving, ever changing. And kind of what was good 10 years ago is really not the case now. And so unless he's really willing to kind of try to get with the times, it's going to be a long few years for the Hawks because you see the people going to Super Bowls are all young coaches in their 30s. So you need, and he is a good thing for him. He is kind of a young spirit. You know, he kind of has that kind of younger mentality. But, you know, he is still the oldest coach in the NFL. And so he just got to there are things that he needs to kind of get with and whatnot. But
as a fellow Seahawks fan, I think they should have got, I think getting rid of Russ was the right move. I think trade him now before he loses his value. You know, instead of just letting him walk, we can at least get assets for it. I think we should have fired Pete Carroll 3 or 4 seasons ago. Ever since I've been so out on him ever since the Super Bowl that will not be named.
Jesus.
And did that dumbass idea of trying to throw the fucking
ball. I think that was Bevel's fault. I don't know if that was
one of
his.
the best
That was
running backs in
Bevel's
NFL
fault,
history. You know.
Yeah, that's a little crazy, you know, that Super Bowl. One of the things that now, I guess this is a sports podcast now, which I'm enjoying this.
I'm okay with that.
Devontae Adams to the Raiders is that one blew my mind too. Like Oakland is, I mean, are they a legit contender this year? Are they? I mean,
that division is
now
crazy, dude.
No.
I know you got Mahomes. The AFC West now is probably the toughest division in football.
Yeah, I think Denver will probably be 1 in there. I think the Chargers will be 2, and then maybe KC, then Raiders. I don't know. It's crazy. We don't know. That's why
the Chargers are going to go above the Chiefs.
Dude, the Chiefs just traded Tyreek Hill to Miami.
Yeah, but I mean, they still got the truth.
I mean, they do
not
have
out
the
of
truth. You have Kelsey as well, and they got some draft picks, so that's going to be.
They got enough to compete.
I mean,
I think Herbert's going to pop this year.
Good.
I do think.
This is going to be Herbert's coming out. Like he's already out, but I think this is when he's going to be like, "All right, I'm dominant. I'm one of the best QBs in the league," and I think he's going to be pretty fun to watch this year.
You think he's like, I'm an elite QB. I'm top 5. Do you think this is the year for Herbert?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Obviously, it'll be him, Burrow again, obviously Patrick, but I think Herbert, he's just too good. Like, he is like the biggest arm. He's like the stereotypical quarterback you want, you know? And they're finally getting pieces. They should have won the playoffs last year. They should have just tied it and fucked the Steelers, but they didn't. And they did something stupid. They should have been in the playoffs last year. So now I think they're going to build from that. And then.
Well, that's one of the things I like about their coach. I think
that's the team.
That's one of the things I like about their coach. He's so aggressive. He is always going for it on 4th down. It doesn't even matter if the ball's at his own 30. Sometimes, like, fuck it, we're going for 4th and 5. I like it. And and just getting Khalil Mack, you know, you have Boza on the end. He's going to be even more aggressive. It's going to be well. I'm excited to see Russ in a Broncos uniform. Like that's going to be. I mean, that might be.
Don't the Cowboys hate the? Don't the Cowboys have a rivalry with the Broncos?
No. They're in different divisions. The Red, fuck you.
Just everybody hates
they have they have a rivalry with the Redskins. The Commanders.
This might be an obvious question, but do you think, right? Obviously, now there's the most and the best players in the NFL ever, like throughout top to bottom. Like I feel like now there's so many good players at every position. Like I think. The last 10, 20 years, you always had like Peyton Manning and, Tom Brady, but there's always like one or two guys per like division. Well, I think now there's like one or two guys per.
So the real
team, I don't know.
Yeah. The real
top
question
to bottom, I think the NFL is the best it's ever been.
Well, the real question is this, right? Like there's two things you have to think about when talking about this. One, is it the marketing and the proliferation of the game? The game grows every year. More people, more eyeballs on it. The marketing's better, right? So you get to pick up. There's way more television. You get to watch Hard Knocks. That one Amazon Prime show that follows a different team around. So there's more eyeballs on it. You got social media, so you're catching up. You get to see the athleticism, And the second factor, in my opinion, and I could be way off base with all of this, is it's not a defensive league anymore. Like it is not.
I mean, the real reason though is Division I football is at its best, like top to bottom as well. You're getting a feed of way more players at a way higher level that are coming out of college doing shit that kids in college couldn't do. 30 years ago, even 20 years ago.
You're right. And that a lot of that has to do with the strength and conditioning coaches, the diets, the act. So, I'm going to have to say, I think you're right because of technology.
The marketing reasons for sure too. Like you're not wrong, but the D1 football too is at its peak that at least in my lifetime that I've ever seen it. I haven't seen it as good as it has been for the past 5 seasons.
I got it. I think you're right, man. It's got to be more competitive. I think
the top of it. There's always the top of the top. But I feel like now, coming this season, I don't know who could win. Like almost every division, like the NFC West, you don't know who could win. AFC West, like there are most of the divisions like you don't know. Where before, there'd be years that team's always going to win. These teams always suck. Now it's like every team more than ever now, I think, is very competitive.
I like that.
The Rams are going to win the NFC West, though.
Yeah, the NFC. Well,
there's no way they're not going to just steamroll everybody.
But you have the cards. I mean, if they figure out the Kyler Murray contract, which I don't know if. I mean, I'm sure they'll figure out the Kyler Murray contract. So it's basically the Rams and the Cardinals that are the two top dogs. But then you also can't count out the San Francisco 49ers either. So there's 3 teams in that mix that are pretty good. The Niners are good. The Niners just need
didn't Garoppolo leave?
No, he's still there, dude.
No one wants him.
And because didn't he have to have shoulder surgery?
He's not very good,
dude. I don't know if you can really.
He's he's above average, but he's fair. Not like. He's like a light 7.
All right, let's do a first take type deal. This is gonna be fun. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna ask Andrew, then John, you're gonna answer. And here's a question: do Baker Mayfield and Jimmy G get picked up this season?
People have been saying the Hawks are looking at them. I don't know. Who are they gonna play as a backup? Maybe.
I mean, Baker
as a mentor.
All right, I'm gonna come in. I don't think Baker's personality, and John, same questions goes to you. So I don't think. So I think Baker Mayfield, right? I think his personality is not that of a backup. I think he's got to be a starter. He's going to cause problems in the locker room. Jimmy G,
he's also good enough to be a starter too.
I believe, yes, he is. He's like a top 20 QB. Jimmy G, I just don't know. I think that I don't know if his market value is shrinking, and I don't know if he might end up staying with the Niners. I have no idea. John, same question to you.
I hope the Seahawks sign Baker Mayfield because I love Baker Mayfield. He's a great quarterback. I think you've seen that when you put him in a situation where he is surrounded by a hella good team, he can do some crazy shit. If he can get a better coach, perhaps, that can work with him more to kind of like develop his skills just into a stronger leader, I think. I think he'll get picked up. I don't know about Jimmy G. I have never really been hot on that train. You know, like he had the couple good seasons where he played backup and occasional starter with the Patriots, but like that's all Bill Belichick. That's, you know, Tom Brady is a, you know, all-time great, but most everybody else that's played in that position that's had, you know, like Matt Castle or any of the other guys that they've pawned off on other people, they don't really do much. You know, Jimmy G's the best of those, but I think he might get picked up by like maybe a desperate team, or like he'll become the best backup quarterback in the league.
I mean, that's fair. But I mean, Jimmy G, I think he's special, right? Like he's been to a Super Bowl. He lost it. He took the 49ers. I mean, so was
Rex Grossman is a Super Bowl quarterback too.
Okay, really I understand that, but he also almost did it again, right? Like he was, you know, he lost the game to the Rams pretty steady, but he went into he's a legit quarterback. I think.
Yeah. All right, I have a question. Hey, Rick, I have a question for you.
Okay, what's
all right, Rick? Who would you rather have as your quarterback, Jimmy G or Colin Kaepernick?
Damn, dude. I'm gonna fucking roll with Colin Kaepernick, man.
Oh yeah.
I would love to see him get back in the league. And I don't know I don't know. I loved those, what is it, like 2 to 3 years, and he was dominant when like he was
crazy, like 3.5, I think.
Dude, he was so fucking good.
He was good.
He was so really good. And
he would have won a Super Bowl if the lights didn't go out in the Super Bowl.
I know. Yeah, definitely would have won.
Those 3-4 seasons when the Seahawks would go back and forth.
Yeah, it was like 2011, 12, 13. 14 around 14, that time, yeah.
Those were such great games.
Those are the best. Those are, I mean, the whatever the NFC Championship game when Navarro Bowman's knee like fucking shredded.
Mm-hmm. That was
crazy. Cam Chancellor destroyed. Was that Vontae Davis?
Yeah,
no, Vernon
Davis. Yeah, sent him to the moon. My God,
those were two. I think that might be one of the best defensive, best all-around football games I've ever seen in my life. It was smash mouth, hard nose. You know, you had the Legion of Boom, you had Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman. It just fucking animals, man.
Yeah.
Aldo
that was
Smith,
the fun league,
on the end,
and now we're not there anymore. Like you said, it's more
insanity.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, dude, I miss those days. The rivalry. You remember they had Seattle. The Seattle PD had undercover police officers like in the stadium. Because they were worried
Pete
about
Carroll
violence.
And John Harbaugh hated each other, dude.
Yeah, they did. And then a 49ers fan paid to have like Go Niners flown over Seattle. Like, dude, it was fucking. It was insane. That rivalry was the best rivalry in football of all time. It was great. Yeah. It was so good, dude. I miss that shit. There is really not a rivalry right now, like that right now.
So going back, we talked about a little bit earlier, since we have the best players now that we all agreed on. What do you think's like going to happen with the whole college NIL stuff and what's going on? Because people are getting paid right now. What do you think about college kids getting paid and all that stuff?
I'm gonna go first. I think two things. One, fuck yes. I love that they're getting paid. I think it's beautiful. But ironically, I also think it's going to kill college football. I think that the name, image, likeness, it's going to create an environment, and we're very close to it, where there are going to be super teams and the rest of everyone else sucks. I think it's and the one and done in college basketball has absolutely killed college basketball, in my opinion. And I think because outside of my basketball team, which is the Beavers, like everyone's going to be there for 3-4 years, so you get to know the players. But if you're a Kentucky fan or a UConn, or even the Zags have done a good job at kind of keeping their players around, but you don't have any. You're renting players, right? These players are going to play college basketball and they're going to bounce. So you don't get any cohesiveness of the team. Like, they're gone after a year if they're good to make to the league. And kudos to them for fucking making that money, right? But it's a weird. I think that we didn't overcorrect. We've corrected the injustices of the bullshit, but I think that it needs to kind of, I don't know, I don't want any of the money, but it needs to kind of swing back where we can get, just even based off of like how hard it is for coaches to recruit. Like, I do believe I think that's why Coach K's done. He's like, I can't compete. There's no loyalty anymore. These kids that I'm bringing in top level talent. They're going to piece and go to the NBA. Like, what's the point? I'm not going to be able to institute my program. I'm done. I've retired. I had the glorious time. So I think that yes, I'm super pumped that these kids are getting paid finally, but I think that you're going to see a bit of a deterioration in college sports, unfortunately. And that's just my opinion. Hopefully I'm wrong, but that's where I'm at. John, go.
So I don't think it's going to destroy college sports. I think if the NC2A continues to not just not do anything, I think it will. It'll lead to the same situation they have with the college playoff, which has been by design forever. Having, lived in college football most of my life, it's always been just a crapshoot to stick, Texas or Alabama or USC or, Ohio State or, pick your other teams in the championship games. But I think I think the NC2A is smart enough, or I hope they are, to do some sort of, like, I'm glad people are getting paid. People should have been getting paid for a long time. But I think putting some sort of like a control system so that you don't just have situations where, whatever school has the richest booster is going to be the best school. I think it's great that, like, what was one of the first contracts signed was like one of the players from the Iowa basketball team signed like a local endorsement deal with like a barbecue chain or something, the quarterback at Auburn, endorsed Milo's sweet tea and hamburger place. Like, it's going to be shit like that, I think. And there's still going to be, like, at Oregon and Alabama and the big name guys that have name cachet already, as freshmen or even sophomore, getting like brand deals with like Nike or Adidas and shit like that. But I hope that it'll settle down to where it's like everybody gets paid. Everybody starts getting a salary, like a stipend on top of their, education and room and board and everything. It's either going to be that, or college football is going to have to revert to like an entirely just like a minor league system where
I think that's really kind of where college they should go, like that. You have your big 16 teams or whatever, 25, thinking 32 teams, whatever. But those teams kind of should break off and do their thing and let college football be really college football. Like, real college football, like right now, is like D1 or D2, D3. Mm-hmm. That's college football. So let these guys who are their goals are going to go pro, let them kind of even go pro. And like, even say, hey, you can be associated with our university, but you're not a student. You could use our facilities or something like that. I don't know, because I think that if you have a kid that's like a 5-star recruit coming to a campus and he already has $2 million, and then there's a kid on the team who didn't get anything, isn't even on a scholarship, and this kid's gonna be pulling up in a Ferrari and wearing rollies and stuff like that. I feel like these kids who don't have those deals, they're still going to practice, they're still going to film and doing everything else other guys doing. Obviously, they're not the 5-star recruit, but maybe at the very least, give everyone on the team a scholarship, because the case is not everyone on those teams are on scholarship. So give them at least that.
To be honest, I think if the NFL were smart, which I don't think the NFL is as smart as everybody thinks they are. I think the NFL could coast for another 20 years and still make multiple billions a year, gain viewership year over year forever, because like football is the national sport of the United States. It's not baseball anymore, And I think if the NFL were smart, though, I think that the NFL should start like build a training system the way that like professional soccer leagues in Europe have, where each club has like a B team. It like, maybe has like one B team and there's a B league where there's now 64 teams and those teams play each other. And it isn't like where they can, win their way into like the A league or whatever, but they're still getting reps. And that way there's a hunger for football always. I mean, there's like how many, like it feels like every year there's a new startup league trying
XFL's coming next year,
Yeah. So it's like,
oh my God.
It makes sense that there's a fuck ton of guys that want to play football and that are good enough. And I think if they did that, and then I think if they let high school kids go pro if they wanted to, like I don't think any kid, like very, very, very few people could go out of high school and play in the NFL. But if they wanted to do like the NBA where they have the G League, they could go to the NFL and play in the B League for a while and develop and get paid instead of going to college.
If I'm a kid, and an athlete, and I just made $1 million before I stepped on campus, and they try to tell me to go to class, I would be like, "Fuck you!" Like I'm a millionaire already.
I mean, they are the kids that do that. It'd be such a hard sell for me. I'm gonna go to football practice and go to the weight room and do that shit because that's what's gonna pay me. And I'm not even, I'm gonna take my time. So like, why would I even go to class at this point? I already have $1 million. I'm richer than everyone that's teaching me. Yeah, Yeah.
So like, why would I listen to you?
Honestly.
I'm gonna do me. Yeah, that's intense, man. And it's a really good point. I don't know. I don't know what needs to be done. It's a very interesting time because like I do feel like because everyone likes, you like it when the underdog wins or small team or something, which is why I love college basketball exclusively during March, right? You just never know what's gonna happen. You never know who's gonna go deep. There's always some amazing story of a team that that goes deep. I think there's one going on right now. I haven't really been paying that much attention, but I remember when George Mason like went super deep and everyone's like, what's going on?
Or what was that last season? Oral Roberts?
Yeah, Oral Roberts. There's a team this year that like I don't even know. I'm not even going to talk. Their coach, the only reason he was able to like afford to be there full time, he has a pension from the Air Force, and it's just a no-name team from anywhere, and they're fucking crushing right now. Or they were last I checked.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Like, I haven't been paying attention either, but because like you said, like we only care about college basketball during the madness, and really, do you know why people care about March Madness? Because we can fill our little brackets and then let it get busted, and then like I fill it out, then shit got busted, and I don't even care anymore. I'll watch the national championship.
That's exactly what happened to me. Yeah, I filled mine out. I talked a bunch of shit, and now I'm last. I talked so much shit to everyone, and everyone's like, "It's so early," and I should have held my tongue because I'm last.
You're a Cowboys fan. That's what Cowboys fans do.
Fuck you, dude. Dallas is America's team. They're the best team ever. I don't even.
Please
is Dak ever going to be able to do it? Like, I don't think he's the guy.
If they'd give him, what else they should have paid him years ago.
No, what else does he need?
A defense.
What else, dude? You're high. We have a fucking amazing defense right now. We have all the offensive weapons. There's no excuse.
He's never had a truly like great number one receiver that he can.
Amari Cooper. No, dude. We have all the fucking tools. There is zero excuse.
I don't think Amari Cooper was ever going to be as good. He's not as good as like Tyreek Hill. He is in the core, but he's not a target. Like he's number two.
We just cut, I think, Amari Cooper, but like we legitimately, he has no excuse. We have an amazing defense.
You guys think get rid of Zeke?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. You need to get a new coach as well.
I don't know.
Like actually have a GM that isn't like an old oil baron.
I'm kind of starting to think that. And listen, I have a love hate with Jerry. I love Jerry because he's hilarious and he's got just a crazy personality. But I'm to the point where it's like I don't know what we're gonna do now because all these teams in the offseason, like and maybe it's just because I'm paying attention. There's been so much movement from all these teams trying to go in and win big. And I'm like, what? We're not doing shit right now, man.
Because they think that they're in Texas and that they're the Cowboys, that they're going to automatically win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being attacked right now. This podcast.
Hello, long-suffering Seahawks fan here. Like outside of the past, what
you've won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years. So fuck you.
Yeah, and then the one we were in when was that? 2003, 6. Yeah. Outside of like 5 years then, and this like stretch of being good. We've been garbage forever, like truly special garbage, like the Browns level garbage.
Hey, do you know who isn't garbage?
Who?
Dude, Patty the fucking Batty. Did you watch him last weekend?
I have not been able to watch UFC because I've been traveling so much.
Dude, Patty the Batty, man. You gotta check him out. He's freaking hilarious.
Is that the guy from the Scouser from Liverpool?
Yeah, he looks like a fucking. In his past life, he was like a poor peasant, his fucking bowl cut. But he would
does
not
look like. Put him in burlap pants.
Yeah, exactly. If you give him a little fucking coin bags, 10. So can I have some coins? Like he looks like a fucking peasant, but he is bad. He just choked some dude out like in a minute. Like
I hope that he keeps it up and he doesn't become an asshole like Conor McGregor. So it's like I can actually like feel good cheering for him.
They said he got paid something like ridiculous amount. Like he only got like $24,000.
12 to show, 12 to win. Plus he got a fight night bonus.
That's it.
He made $74,000. I think.
Well, I guess that's not bad.
Geez. Like if Conor were to fight, he would have made.
He'd be making. What, 10 million? I think he was making a fight in UFC.
No, it wasn't that much. I mean,
they don't get that much a fight in UFC.
So
you got to go boxing. That's why everyone want that boxing round. Get that boxing money.
I don't. So the UFC, and I'm not sure how they get away with this, right? Because you can get percentage of pay-per-view points. They obviously don't make as much money as like boxers, but like the heavyweights, I know they make a little bit more. I think that like the earnings and this is the number that it's popping off. Alistair Overeem at one point, I remember looking up, and this is a while ago. If you're a UFC fan, he made like $700,000 for one fight, and there's a lot that's disclosed privately in the UFC. It's really wonky how they pay. They're very secretive how they pay people. Fighter pays.
They also pay salary too.
Dude, they don't make shit. I don't know what are you fucking serious? Like what?
According to this, the average UFC salary for 2020 was $147,000.
No. So the average UFC. So are you talking about like administrators? Because the fighters
fighters.
They're independent contract. When you say salary, I don't think it means in the term of like you get paid monthly. It's like per fight, right?
No, yeah. Yeah.
That's shit, right? So a boxer like Tyson Fury, Deontay, they made $30 million for one fight. Floyd's made $100 million, right? For
Conor
a fight.
Conor McGregor made $100 mil off that.
No, he didn't make that much.
That
Floyd made $100 million off of that fight. Conor maybe.
I thought McGregor made like 10 or 20 million too.
No, he probably did, but the UFC took 50% of that. That's how they got that fight set up.
Oh, I did not know that.
That was in the contract. And that's a big reason why. And again, I'm speculating right now. I'm not an insider by any means.
So they just get away with paying him so little by just good old fashioned shitty capitalism. Just put him in a bad contract.
Well, the fighters, because the problem that they're having is they're not going to be able to unionize. It is an individual sport, and it's the culture. It's an individual sport, man. So everyone's like, it's all about me. Fuck you. Unlike baseball,
same with
football,
boxing too.
Yeah, unlike any of those sports where they've like major sports in America, team sports, they all have unions.
But I mean, even like tennis players are individual. They have a representative union that they have that goes against whatever the organizing body in tennis is. Like UFC fighters have.
Yeah, but it's also not like super personal. It's not like you're talking shit about someone's family. It's the person's serving a ball at you. They're not trying to fucking knock you unconscious, right? So it's a bit different. And plus the UFC is dividing and conquer, right? It's like they're going to pay some people a lot of money, quote unquote, and then others aren't going to get paid that much. Like if you're new in that
and I think it's like a psychological thing too. Like when someone is fighting for like their literal life, when they like are broke and they don't have anything and they have to pay all like their trainers and their coaches and they're living in a car. Like I think you get a better product when they're scratching and clawing their way up top. So like it's UFC's incentive to pay up and comers shit because they need to have them struggle for everything. They need to go out and like that's why Patty the Batty's doing so well. He's put on a show every time because he has to.
Yeah.
And once he gets to the top, and then he gets his millions or whatever. And usually it takes years too, and then you're kind of maybe in your prime or maybe kind of on the tail end of it. By the time you're a superstar, you're kind of not as good as you were when you're that hungry. And so I think if the UFC did, pay them more. If you get rich off of one fight and get your ass kicked, you probably won't do it again, But if you if you only get $10,000, you got your ass kicked, I have to go back there and try again, So that's probably a reason why. Do I agree with it? No. I think that if you're stepping in the ring, everyone should get paid fairly and more and be able to support their family and pay their coaches and trainers. But I think that's why kind of a psychological thing. Dana's a fucking smart guy. He knows that.
Yeah,
like he knows if your back's against the wall and you have nothing. You're gonna go out there and put on a show. If you're this broke guy and the UFC offered you a $2 million contract right off the bat, you say you go in there and get your ass kicked. You're like, well, fuck that. I don't know. But it was all guaranteed money.
But the way their contracts or schedules are just, it's so fucked though. Like if you win the Ultimate Fighter, you get a 6-figure contract, right? Okay, so maybe there is a little bit of it's a. let's say $147,000 not paid up once. It's paid out over multiple fucking years, dude.
Yeah.
It's paid out over multiple years. So that fucking sucks. And the other thing is like there's no health insurance generally. I don't think like if you get injured in training, I think you're fucked. I think if you get injured during a fight, I think the UFC is going to pay for your medical bills. Again, a lot of this is speculation. I haven't looked into this at all, so I don't know. But it's an interesting game. I love that sport so much. I think I will take the UFC over football by just a scotch, just because it's just there's so much drama, man. There's so many stories and so many characters.
Speaking of drama, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll put a statement. Do you know who my new hero is?
Who's
like
that?
all time GOAT? Is Cain Velasquez.
Oh yeah, I did know. Yeah. Tell the story.
Did you hear about this story?
I did, but tell it.
He pretty much found out someone he knew or his uncle or someone was like molesting his little niece or daughter. Can't remember exactly who it was. A family member. And he went out there to go kill him, beat the fuck out of him, kill him. Didn't he shoot him a couple times? The guy didn't die, but he went to the hospital.
He shot him. Yeah, he shot him.
Yeah, Cain Velasquez should be a free man right now. So
have you
free Cain Velasquez.
Have you seen the mugshot on him too? I think he's like smiling. Yeah. He's like, yeah, all right, cool. Wish I would. He should have beat him to death. Yeah. It's super fucked up. Unfortunately, dude, like he's got I don't know. I think he's fucked, man. Like I don't think you get out of that, even though that guy deserves to die.
I don't think you
can
get out of prison for that.
I mean, but maybe who knows? Maybe we'll get a sympathetic jury.
Biden needs to pardon him. Come on, Biden.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, so that story's crazy. But do you know who else is like crazy? This is why I love like the fight and martial arts, because it teaches you like you can go that route of supreme violence like Cain did, which is I think is very justifiable. But once you've seen so much of violence, you can be calm, cool, and collected. Did you hear what happened to Mike Tyson like a few nights ago?
No, please share. I did, but
he was at a comedy club like in Atlanta or somewhere, and enjoyed himself. And a guy came up and like was kind of being a little ruckus, and eventually pulled a gun out on Mike. And Mike just stood there, didn't flinch, just looked at him and went and gave him a hug, and just de-escalated the situation entirely.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
Why would you pick a fight with Mike Tyson? Good God,
he had a gun.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he's seen so much violence. Like, a normal person would have freaked out, been scared, maybe ran away. It didn't flinch him because his whole life was violence. Yeah. And he knows that guy was hurting. And Mike is such like a shaman himself. He knew this guy was hurting and didn't want to hurt him, and he needed a hug. And Mike went and gave him a hug. And I think that's the That's the coolest
It's
thing
so
ever,
cool.
right there. So fighting,
Mike Tyson is such a cool person too. That like you said, like his whole life has been violence. Like he could literally kill somebody on like 30% punch, you know, and like to have that like a responsibility that comes with that of being like that powerful a person physically. To see him not turn into a piece of shit like what's his face, Floyd Mayweather, and actually like be a decent human being and try to make up for some of the dumb shit he's done, like, is awesome.
Yeah, I really wish I can't. I got to get this story. He's got to go on his podcast and tell it. I got to listen to that, man. Hotboxing with Mike Tyson is a treat. Shout out to you for telling me about that all those years ago.
yeah, I love that.
That's a great. Well,
But I think he was at a comedy club with T.I. because I think T.I. is trying to do comedy now.
What? No.
Yeah, I promise you.
Man,
God.
T.I. stick to
The
music.
reality
He's
show
doing
didn't work
comedy,
out?
so
He was an
God damn.
actor. I wish he would just stick to rapping and movies, dog. Just straight up. You know what? Shout out to you.
I don't know. I'm kind of here for like.
I don't know if I'd pay to see it.
Well, I think what he's doing though is making a conversation about it and maybe putting people on too. And like when he's at the top and you're older, like I don't know if I want to listen to more T.I. music, to be honest with you. Like he's not going to top King.
No,
Like I have that on my playlist now. I love it. I love what he's done. But like,
it was a fucking great
if he
album.
like puts out another album at the same time, I'm going to be like, why? Stop it.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know,
maybe
man.
good for him for like changing avenues and trying to do something, you know.
It's true.
But
it's
also
true.
comedy. Like he wasn't even
know.
one of the funny rappers really that I recall.
No, it wasn't.
Like
That's probably
If
why it's
any-
going to be funny. He might be
maybe
funny on a whole different level.
I would have thought if any rapper was going to go stand up comic, it was going to be Ludacris.
Ludacris is a game show host now.
I know,
And an
which is such
actor.
a he was. Yeah, I know.
I would have stuck, but hey, he's got Fear Factor money. He's got, he's got acting money. He's got. I mean, I think he's a real savvy businessman. So I think he's got a.
Oh
shit
yeah,
ton of
he
cash.
was like he did the reason he disappeared was because he went into real estate and made a killing.
Oh fuck, he's dialed. Good for him.
Yeah, he's fine.
I love it when people don't go broke. That makes me so happy. I love that shit. Well, listen, I actually have to go. I got a hard stop here, boys. This has been a
Okay, no
treat.
worries.
We'll have to continue this at some other point, but I gotta go get strangled at class. So, jujitsu. So I'll see you.
Okay.
I'll see you guys later. Andrew, thanks for coming on the show, dude. We got to cut it short
appreciate it.
today.
Yeah.
This is the only time that we could schedule it at work. So, listen, gents, ladies, leave us those a 5-star review on Apple, and if you think we're worth it, maybe subscribe on the YouTube to show that channel some love. As always, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.